Good afternoon, everybody. Here in the first podcast for January for Vamanos Con La Joya. How's everybody doing today? Before we go on, just checking to make sure if you guys can hear me. So if you guys can give me uh, voice check, mic check. Are you guys able to hear me? I kind of had to restart. I was having a little issues. I don't know what it is. Every time I found I was always issues. Hola, Jesús Urbina, Sandra, ¿cómo están? Thank you, thank you. ¿Cómo están todos? El primer podcast, live podcast de Vamanos Con La Joya for this new 2026 year. And I am starting it off at a great special campaign event for Judge Rosie, who is a judge here, who is getting starting her campaign for re-election here today. But before I start off here with the first podcast of January, if you guys can say yes, you can hear me. Let me see. Let me see if I can do the chat thing. If you guys can hear me. Hi, my BFF. Yes, you can hear me. Thank you. Thank you. My BFF is always on there. Hi, BFF. I miss you. Happy New Year. And Happy New Year to each and everybody. So it is the new year. It is my first podcast here, January 4th, 4 days into the new year. And I have started the Vamanos Con La Joya podcast. So I want to thank each and everybody. Here in a little bit, I'm going to be showing you guys what a campaign event is and what it's looking like. It's the first podcast for Vamanos Con La Joya for this January. And I am here with Judge Rosie's first campaign event for the year here for re-election. I don't know much about campaign events. We are all going to find out together. I got invited, and it's a pleasure. And Judge Rosie is an amazing judge. I'll read her bio to you. If you guys don't know Judge Rosie, go out and Google her. She's out there on Google. She is the judge here. Let's see here. Buen, gracias. Feliz año nuevo, Sandra, y todos esos. So before I start, I am going to open it up with prayer because God is opening doors this January. Vamanos con la Joya is going different paths and doing different things. And you guys will know it when it finally comes up. Lots of different decisions I have to make, and it's all thanks to God and walking in faith. So I will open up with prayer first to get this going on. So, dear Lord Jesus, I first and foremost thank you for this brand new 2026 years, 2022, 2026 new year. And I thank you, Lord, that you have given me a lot of guidance. You have showed me what this new year I need to do and the different paths that you kind of opening doors and guiding me. And I just want to lay this Vamanos con La Joya podcast, the La Joya promotions, everything that I do, I lay it in your hands and I walk in faith and for you to open the doors and you just guide the way. In Jesus' name, amen. Alrighty. Happy New Year. All right. Everyone, yes, everyone, please vote for Judge Rosie Gonzalez. Let me see if I can read a little bit about Judge Rosie. Let's see. Okay. All right. So Rosie Speedlin Gonzalez. She is the judge of Bexar County. Rosie Gonzalez is a judge for Bexar County. She was born in Brownsville, Texas, to parents who instilled her a love for both her culture and country, and learned the importance of service to her community and the value of people in her life. She graduated from St. Mary's University Law School in 2001, then practiced law for almost 17 years. She became the only lawyer in South Texas to be certified as the Child Welfare Specialist by the National Association of Counsel for Children prior to taking the bench. In her law career, she represented hundreds of foster children in the CPS system. She mentored many new attorneys who went on to develop successful law careers. The judge had a solo practice where she committed to hard work and service to her clients. Rosie loves the law. The passion led her to running for judge in 2018 of County Court 13, a misdemeanor domestic violence court in Bexar County. After a successful and victorious campaign, she took the bench in January 2019. She ran with following initiatives. One, to create a drug court domestic violence specialty program that addresses the core issues that brings offenders into the courtroom. Two, to collaborate with UTSA's counseling development. Let me see, where am I at? I'm reading this from her biography. To develop and bring, let's see, two, to collaborate with UTSA's counseling department to set up a therapeutic support for the victims of domestic violence. And three, to develop and bring transparency to the working of the criminal justice during the 2019 Texas legislative session. She has co-authored HB 3529, which was sponsored by State Representative Roland Gutierrez. Judge Spenlin Gonzalez recognizes the lack of resources for most vulnerable residents. Further, she is aware that the most dangerous places in the city can exist in the home. She dedicates her time on the bench to address the needs for an ever increasing problem in our city. In 2021, the Texas Diversity Council honored Judge Rosie with the LGBTQ Individual Leadership Award. In 2020, she was chosen as the recipient of the Alice Wright, I might be saying this wrong, Franzik Feminist Award for outstanding work done with and will continue to do that she promotes the ideal peace, empowerment, cooperation, equality, and respect for all persons. Over the past 3.5 years, she has been honored with the Pioneer Award recipient by Bexar County, Bexar County Commissioners Award, the Political Icon Award, and the Pride Center, and has been nominated for countless additional civic service and legal distinction awards. So that's a little bit about Judge Rosie. And so today she starts her first event, her first campaign event for re-election this year. So we are going to go and see what this campaign's all about. We're going to talk to some of the people that are in her campaigns that are here helping her. And like I said, this is my first time being in a campaign. And so I am curious to know how a campaign works. And so you guys are going to be here with me. I'm going to, kind of go around and with my little table here, and we're going to kind of meet some people, and they're in here meeting. We're here from 2 to 4. Getting ready and getting her campaign started. So let's see, any questions? Let me see. Do we have any questions out there? Let's see. Hi, Chela. ¿Cómo estás? Thank you for stopping by. If you guys are out there, please make sure you guys are out there voting. Go vote for Judge Rosie. Go and follow her. Hello, Mr. Cortez. Hi, down. How you doing? All right. You guys like, follow, and share also on this page. Thank you so much. You guys can also see it on La Joya Promotions. It is live on YouTube Promotions. It is live on TikTok here with Cuvo Radio Show. Yes. Let's see here. And I think from what I was seeing in here is save the date, March 3rd, 2026 here is going to be early voting day. There's a vote. So the voting is March 3rd, 2026. Early voting is February 17th through February 17th through the 27th. So we are here to start the campaign for re-electing Judge Rosie Speedlin Gonzalez, Bexar County Court 13. She's the award-winning. She's strong on domestic violence. She's innovative and compassionate, tough on crime, and fair and impartial. So let me see if we can go to the room. We got a nice little office here. So let me see if I can open this up so we can go and see what's going on. All right. Who do we got? Anybody else want to say anything? Okay. It sounds very quiet over there. There's the door. Let me try to open my other. Let me fix this up real quick. All right, I'm gonna go. Let's go walk out there and check out what's going on over here. See what we can talk to and interview. I'm a mobile little. I am in mobile, so we're gonna go around and see what's going on here at the campaign. All right. So right now there is Judge Rosie over there. So we got her going on over here. There's Judge Rosie. There we go. There. So we are here meeting with Judge Rosie, spreading out the word about her getting revoted. So we are see what we can do. We got lots of her. Let's see here. So right now, it looks like everybody's texting everybody out there about her re-elections to vote and everything. So let's see here. So BFF, you go out there and so we're voting for Judge Rosie. So we're asking for her vote to vote for her. So she's got like a little competition going on here in her event. So if you guys are out there, don't forget we are going on the re-election campaign here for Judge Rosie, which is going to be on March 3rd. And it looks like early voting is March 17th to February 17th to February 27th is the early voting. Hey, yeah, sure. Okay. Who does? Oh, really nice. All right, all right. Yes, yes, I am.
Oh, that's
Okay, guys, so I have. Can you introduce yourself?
sure. My name is Dr. Stacy Speedlin Gonzalez. I'm the wife of Judge Rosie Speedlin Gonzalez.
There we go, guys. And we are here for the kickoff campaign event for Judge Rosie, right?
That's correct.
Can you let people know when's the voting?
Yes. So Judge Rosie is on the ballot for 2026. Early voting begins on February the 17th, and voting day for the primary is March the 3rd of 2026 here in Bexar County. So please make sure that you are registered to vote. Make sure that you check on that registration because if you haven't used it in a while, it's possible that you need to re-register to vote. You have the deadline to register to vote for this cycle. You have to register to vote by the end of January in order to vote in the primary. And if you're going to vote for my wife, that's Judge Rosie Speedlin Gonzalez for Bexar County Court at Law number 13. Bexar County Court at Law number 13 is a domestic violence court. So it is a criminal court. She hears nothing but misdemeanor cases related to family violence. Just so you know what type of court this is. Family violence is a persistent issue here in Bexar County. Bexar County is one of the leading counties in the entire state of Texas. Of all 220 counties in the state of Texas, we lead with family violence. We have the most charges, the most individuals who have been charged or convicted with family violence. So for that reason, it is very important that you are very intentional about who you select in all of the races, particularly with the judicial races, because who you elect onto the bench makes a tremendous difference in the outcomes that you are hoping for. We want Bexar County to be a safe county again.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And so, what do you got to tell the people out there about Judge Rosie?
So one of the things that I wanted to showcase is something that I am the most proud of that my wife has done. So when Rosie decided back in 2018 that she was going to run for the bench, she and I talked about it at length. And one of the platforms that she said, if I am elected, I want to start the first drug court for individuals who have been charged with domestic violence. The reason that was important is because when we looked at the literature, what we found is a good percentage of people who are arrested here in Bexar County being charged with family violence are individuals who happen to be under the influence of drugs and alcohol at the time of their charge. And I need to say this too, since I think oftentimes we do not talk enough about the definition of family violence. People often think of family violence, they think of intimate partner violence between a spouse and another spouse, a partner and another partner. We forget about the individuals who have an adult living at home, an adult child who has a mental health issue or has a substance problem. They're trying to get that person under control. Maybe they're off their medication, maybe they're using substances again, and then they start getting violent with the family or aggressive. Family calls the police. they get hauled off to jail. And the reason I tell you that is because there are certainly people who the best outcome for them is to spend some time in the Bexar County Jail. We know that. We know that for some people, the best thing to do is to go to jail. But for individuals who have a substance problem, we want to be able to help them get sober, because sober defendants become sober members of the community, become productive members of society. And for that reason, we created the Reflejo Court. So my wife also has in a drug court, because there are 14. A lot of people ask me, why did you do another one? Why specific to family violence? Why can't they go to the mental health court? Why can't they go to the DWI court? The reason is all drug courts, with the exception of the Reflejo Court, require you to not have a violent offense. And family violence is a violent offense. So they are not eligible for any of the other drug courts. So what that means is we started a specific program. And in order to do that, in 2020, Rosie and I sat down and we wrote a House bill. It was sponsored by, at the time, State Representative Roland Gutierrez, who is now Senator Roland Gutierrez. He sponsored the bill. It was House Bill 3529. And it passed. It was signed into law. It was actually in 2019 that we did that. That was June 10th of 2019 is when Governor Greg Abbott signed that bill into law. And in July of 2020, we accepted our first participant into the Reflejo Court. I'm really excited and very enthusiastic to show you all the documentary. It's 16 minutes, and it talks about the Reflejo Court. You're going to hear from participants who have graduated from the Reflejo Court, and you can see what we do. We offer trauma therapy. We help individuals get sober. And what happens is if they deviate from the program, we provide swift accountability. And that's because when you use the court system to provide therapeutic intervention and you couple that with accountability, what we see are individuals who would normally not darken the doors of a treatment center, would normally not go to therapy, and now we find them engaging actively in therapeutic services. And the court is the supporter and the catalyst for that type of treatment program.
So we're going to watch this presentation that she has so you guys can see what they've started.
Everybody can run circles around you, trying to give you what you need. If you're not accepting it, you're never going to heal. You're never going to get sober.
So my parents didn't have a very good relationship. My dad was an alcoholic.
There's a trauma of combat veterans. There's a trauma of the first responder, the firefighter, police officer. And then you have the trauma of an individual who's carrying the weight of not feeling good enough, walking wounded, we called it, because they are adult survivors of childhood trauma, childhood abuse. And on any given day, they have spontaneous reminders and memories of the sexual abuse, of the physical abuse, of being berated and just being insulted by the people that are supposed to love them the most, their parents, their grandparents, their kids. And they spent their whole lives feeling lesser than.
I remember bouncing back and forth, mother to father, and the last incident that they had was I remember my father dragging my mother down the street by her hair because he caught my mom with another man. So she was kind of paying him back for what he did. And I remember he dragged her down the street. Cops were called. Nobody did anything. But there I was, just watching.
They drink till they pass out, or they drink, do drugs, to stay drinking, to pass out. And then sometimes, it would get violent. My dad would hit my mom. And, he started hitting us too at a young age. So I just think just having that kind of environment as a kid, I thought it was normal to do these things.
When I was in high school, I actually had a very toxic relationship. I started dating somebody at 14. He was very abusive, very physically abusive, emotional abuse was also there. And he was constantly cheating on me. I remember those things, but not like of my family childhood traumas. I just remember being in an abusive relationship because that's the norm. My dad's abusive. Like, that's what I expect in return is somebody to treat me the way that my father was treating my mother. And I thought it was completely normal.
Probably when I was maybe 7 or 8 years old, when I had a more understanding of what was going on, I started finding, needles in the trash. And when I was with my mother, just the way to see how they were on drugs and random people coming in and out of the apartment. And I think at that moment I started realizing, okay, like this is not right. Like these people look like zombies. It's not right. And all we would do is just watch cartoons until it was time to eat or whatever the case was. So and then when she started going in and out of jail too, is seeing her there and all the broken promises, like I'm gonna change, promise. And when you're young, I mean, you want that.
The Flejo court works with life and death, literally physical death, right? And there's a spiritual death, but this is a physical death. And they have that fair opportunity in life to go to school and to be a normal student and learn. They came into school with trauma and mental health disorders because of what happens at home, things that they've seen are horrific. And so having this treatment court called Reflejo, give them this opportunity to heal, first of all, themselves, to show them what love means, and to show them that people do care.
We knew that a great number of defendants coming through the court were having substance abuse issues because they had gravitated towards substances as a way to modulate their emotions that were deep-rooted, had been around for a long time because they started when they themselves were children. Out in the community, I hear a lot often when people realize the work that we're doing, they say, well, yeah, you need to heal them because hurt people hurt people. But this weekend, our volunteer who has emceed every graduation course, Michael, said something very profound, que pegó deep, and it was just eye-opening. He said, healed people heal people. And that's where we want to be, because that's what's going to make our community safer and more peaceful and a great place for everyone to live in, and the best place for all of us to raise our kids for generations to come.
You know, one thing I can say today, though, is bottom line is I've gone from hating, pure hate, and I mean hate, to wanting to see the light and love in people. I don't hate no more. I don't think there's an ounce left in me. I really don't. There's nothing I could hate. Everything today is nothing but love and compassion and understanding.
I did not want to be in this program, but it turns out it's what I needed. Yeah. So if you trust and you're vulnerable, you'll absolutely see the magic happen, and you'll start growing and trusting yourself, being honest with yourself, and it's just incredible because that runs into being honest and trusting with your family, being honest and truthful with your partner. They've been there from day one until now that graduation. You know, they're gonna be at the graduation, supporting me, just cheering me on. So it's really exciting, and it's a loving family.
The Flail Court, it means, like it stands for redemption. It's a second chance that I thought I didn't even deserve, but that they provided. And in the beginning, I thought they were against me just because of my own negative thinking. But at the end of the day, like, even till today when I realized, like, they helped me more than I can even be thankful for. Like, I'm truly grateful for just the opportunity, like, helping me get over that hump and that surrenderness, and just allow myself to dig deep and figure out what my traumas are. It takes a lot to peel back those layers. Some of those classes were harder than others because we had to, again, ask ourselves, like, the questions that we want to look at. And when you get deep and you're cutting into that onion, like, as in real life, you start to get your eyes watery, tear, because it's hard. Nobody wants to look that deep.
Fifth level court is a treatment court that gives opportunities to individuals that have lost hope. They've thought of committing suicide, or they've tried suicide. It didn't work for whatever reason. God kept them alive. To give them this opportunity, it gives individuals life all over again. It gives them another opportunity in life, an opportunity that was never given to them. You know, from elementary to middle school to high school into adulthood.
You know, what the name of the classes are is exactly what I learned. I learned pathways to healing. I learned values. I learned just more, it's so much in depth with what my values are and the appreciation of these values and my appreciation of, like, my renewed empowerment. I would look forward to coming to class, you know, and I would leave very happy. I feel so grateful that it was just so much loving energy here with you, with my peers at the time, that it carried with me, and it still is with me.
You know, when I first came AIT, I didn't really know what the class was about, but it's honestly one of the best classes that, if not the best class in the program, that's really helped me break through.
AIT, Mr. Barker, y'all always have a good place in my heart, because when I was going through my slums, going through what I need was correctiveness, you know. There's a big part for y'all helping me get through that and to be accountable, and just to help me stay on the right track. So it's a village, obviously, but AIT was, and Mr. Barker was a big part of that process.
During the trial, we're trying to fight for it. We're trying to get it dismissed. My judge, she is very, very powerful and a force to be reckoned with. She said, "We are not going to drop this case. We're going to pursue this case with everything we got." And she did that. So next thing you know, little did I know, this was something that this was a scary thing for me, because I knew at that moment this is going to bring out the real Alex, the real Alex from the time I was a little boy until now was going to come out. And the Reflejo program allowed me to grow. I'm grateful to John, to Judge. There's people that I got to meet throughout my process in Reflejo Court. Great people that allowed me to grow. And it took me this long to realize it. It took me this right to fall and to be where I'm at today is the best thing that ever happened. I am forever thanking to God Almighty for the gift of Reflejo Court.
I need to see strong desire to want to change. Every single one of my participants and graduates has changed my life. I want them to walk away having a sense of healing, peace. Having the tools they need, because they know as well as we know they're going to run up against triggers from the day they leave us to the day they die. And we want them to be able to be well equipped to not react to those triggers, but respond to those triggers in a way that is not going to lead them to use violence.
Today I stand here as a noble man. Now I can lead you. For that I thank you.
You see those individuals across the stage with their head up high and proud of what they've accomplished and looking forward for what life has to offer, that gives you goosebumps. It raises the hair on your arms. You get emotional, you get overwhelmed because you know then, in that moment, that you changed their lives.
Wow, that's very impactful. Wow. Reflejo, how did that name come about to be?
A lot of people don't know this story, so you're the first to ask that question. So, when Rosie first took the bench, when she got elected in 2019, the very first day before she had her first official day on the bench, we had a shaman come and drum and bless the courtroom. And he gave Rosie a mirror for her to wear underneath her robe. And she still does. She wears it underneath her robe. And it reminds her to always reflect, to look at life through the lens of a mirror so that she can always think about the decisions that she's making as a judge. Her job is not easy. Obviously, court is not a pleasant place to be. She doesn't always get it right and perfect because it's a process. There's a prosecutor, there's a defendant, there's a defense attorney involved. It's not always perfect, but she always wants to think about the impact of the community, the impact of the individuals that are in front of her. And so for that, we named it Reflejo Court.
Yeah, when I was seeing the video and I was thinking of that word, me, myself, I mean, this is my first time coming to a campaign, first time seeing this, and just seeing that it was reflecting a lot of what I went through, with family, with the culture, with everything, and it was just, it kind of touched me because I have family members that went through all kinds of different stuff, and here they are in their 20s, 30s, and they're into that road of life. But with your reflejo thing, it was just going back, like you said, going back and healing and reflect, because a lot of them, I mean, I thank God that I was able to reflect and He saved me in certain different ways from that type of curse and going that road. But some people cannot, some people aren't able to, and what you guys are doing, I think it's amazing, and how do people find out about it? I mean, you don't want to be able to go to court and try to. Do they have to go to court and be submitted to that program, or what?
In order to be eligible for this particular
Yeah.
program, they have to be a first-time offender of misdemeanor level domestic violence. So unfortunately, this program does not allow for individuals with a felony. Our hope is that eventually someday we have a felony drug court for domestic violence, but in the meantime, right now, the individual has to be a first-time offender of domestic violence and have a substance problem. So what happens in this process in order for people to find the reflejo court is hopefully their defense attorney is conferring with the prosecution and they're willing to come to the table and offer a deal where they can plead guilty to the charge, and then they will go through the reflejo court. And it is an intense program. It's a year long. And if they successfully complete all 5 phases in that year's time, not only will the charges be dropped, but their record will be expunged, which is that's a fresh start. It's a fresh start
Yeah.
for people, because once you are convicted of family violence, the road gets very narrow in a lot of ways. You can lose access to firearms. It can impact, if you ever go through a divorce and a custody case, it can impact custody and possession and access to children. So we don't want people to have this conviction if they are serious about rehabilitation. And the thing about it is, people commit violence, and violence can happen for different reasons. Not everybody that comes to the court has a substance problem, and not everybody that has a substance problem wants to heal. But for those who do want to heal, this is the reflejo court. This is an opportunity for them to get sober, get an education, get a job, do all the things, participate actively in trauma therapy. And the result of that is that they can not only be sober, but they can be healthy for the family. Because the big misconception that people have is that once family violence occurs, that the victim of family violence wants the person gone. That's not true. There are a lot of people who want that person home, and they really want the court to be the catalyst to help them rehabilitate. They're like, please help my son. He's a good boy. They've shown us pictures of their football, when they used to do football in high school. Look, he was a good kid. Please let him come home. We'll sit with him. We'll mentor him. We'll take him to church. And we know that their intentions are good, but if love alone would get people sober, a lot of people would be sober in this community. Mm-hmm.
And so, wow. So there you go. There's another for Judge Rosie. So here today we are at the first event for the campaign for reelection, right?
Yes.
For Judge Rosie.
This will be, if she is elected, this will be her 3rd term. So she's had 2 active terms. She was elected the first time in 2020. In 2018. She was reelected in 2022. And here we are in 2026. She is seeking reelection for another 4 years here in Bexar County.
There you go. And so for people out there, how can they, I know you said it before in the beginning, but for those that are just coming in, what do they need to do to get reelected, or to vote, for Judge Rosie?
Mm-hmm. So Rosie is running for a judicial seat. That's County Court at Law number 13. It's further down the ballot. There are things on the higher end of the ballot, such as the state level races. And then you have your district courts, you have your county judge, you have your district attorney, and all the way further down the ballot are your judicial races. So she is County Court at Law number 13. So what we ask you, she is number 2 under County Court 13. She has an opponent who's number 1. She is number 2. If you are willing to reelect her and you will have us to continue the work that we are doing as a couple, what she is doing on the bench, then please vote for her. The election day early voting starts on February the 17th, goes till the 28th. And then election day is March the 3rd. If Rosie gets through the primary, she will be reelected. She does not have an opponent in the general cycle. So in the general election in November, she doesn't have an opponent. There's no Republican opponent running against her. She has one opponent in the primary. So if she gets through the primary, she will be reelected and she will be your judge for another 4 years.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, guys, you guys know, go out there and register to vote and
Mhm.
be out there for February 17th for the early voting for Judge Rosie. And we are here at her, she's out here we're working to get it started for you guys to get voting. If they need to, can they help anywhere? Is there any place to follow on Facebook or anything? For Judge Rosie?
Absolutely. For anybody that wants to get involved and help out on the campaign, you can always email me. That's stacy.speedlin@gmail.com, stacy.speedlin@gmail.com. You can always reach out to me if you're interested in being a part of. We do not accept campaign contributions. Rosie is a firm believer that campaign contributions, she did not want to accept them. She didn't want them to be possibly influential in any decisions that she makes on the bench. So we don't accept money. What we will accept is your time, and we would love to have you come be a part of. You can also go to the Bexar County Court 13 website. You can see Judge Rosie. The documentary that I just played is actually on YouTube. You can find that. It's the Reflejo Court documentary. In fact, I'll make sure that you have a link
Okay.
for it for your
Yes,
for your
podcast.
viewers.
Mhm.
Yes. So, yeah, and let us know if you ever need us to come out and talk about domestic violence. If you ever need us to talk about addiction, we can do that. I'm Dr. Stacy Speedlin Gonzalez. I am a trauma and addiction expert. I'm a licensed clinician. I'm a licensed chemical dependency counselor. I'm also a licensed professional counselor, and I am published in the subject matter. That's who I was when I met Judge Rosie. And when we got married, we've been working together to try to make this community safe one day at a time as a couple collectively.
There you go. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, we're gonna here talking about here a little bit and see what else is going on, and maybe here in a little bit talk to Judge Rosie, guys. Let's see what else. Who we got out there? Let me see here. So, what did you guys think of that video? I think that was an awesome video. Wow, that touched home for her to start the first Reflejo program here. Let me see. Hello, David Borrego. Hello, Yolanda. Hello, Roy. Thank you guys for coming by. So, guys, go ahead and let me see here. Let me turn this one on. And turn this one back around for me. All right. Got my little mobile one. All right. Is anybody out there have any questions? Hey, BFFnet. I'll make sure. Judge Rosie, Miss Annette says, thank you for serving the community.
Absolutely.
She said, absolutely. All right. So vote for Judge Rosie. I will have the link for that video of Reflejo program that she put in. Oh, I got a shirt. Let's see, let's see. And on her shirt says, save democracy, vote democracy in the back. And re-elect Rosie. It's got the hemisphere. Awesome. That's an awesome story for Judge Rosie. She's an awesome judge, guys. Let me see here. Let's see what I can do. I see candy. Let me see what else we're going to have going on. See what's good. I got my shirt. Yes, yes, yes. Let me see. She's got it. So her pamphlet here, I'm just going to show this one of the programs that she started, and I'll be putting the video Reflejo. Bexar County at Law, Court 13. It's program that Judge Rosie has begun. And then I'll have the link so you guys can see the video, and you guys can also go on YouTube and see the video. Let's see here. Okay, let's see. Make sure we got volume here. Yay, get your t-shirt. Yes, all right. Let me see what else. I think most of the people that were here, we were going to talk, but we got a little bit off course, which is good. You guys got to see a little bit of what she's got going on. Oh, let me see if I can move around. We're going to move around a little bit with my little mobile. Uh-oh. I got new headphone sets, guys. Cute little guys. So we're trying to see what's going on here. Yeah. So this is my first campaign helping here with Vamanos Con La Joya with Cubo Radio Show. We are live in Cubo Radio. We are live in YouTube. We are live in TikTok. If you guys want to go back and see this amazing video through here, you guys can go in there. But I'm going to see if I can head on over here and see where we're at. I'll be right back. Trying to see where to move and what to do. We will see the mobile area. Let's see where we go. Hey, what do you want? Where do you want to? Hey, let's go sit back to. You want to go in here, T? Sure. We got carpet. Okay, I'm gonna let Stacy take care of everybody on the way out. Let's see. I think it's the lamp. Ahí está. There we go. Okay. Bye. What do you think of this setup? Oh, pretty good. I was telling the people this is my first campaign. First campaign. There you go.
How's the sound? Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. You good?
Sounds good.
All right.
Go ahead and say thank you.
Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing.
Yep, we are good to go. me lower this. That's stuff live on Facebook. So, Judge Rosie,
Hi,
nice
how
to
are you?
meet you again. La Joya here, and just to let you know, we are live on Facebook. You're live on YouTube, on TikTok, and you're also live on Cubo Radio Show. Let me straighten this out a little bit. There we go. So this is your third reelection, correct?
This is our third run. Actually, if we count the 2010 and 2014 run, which
Mhm.
were not successful, this will be my fifth campaign.
Nice.
This is we are pursuing a third term.
A third term.
We've been on the bench 7 years. We have 1 year left, 2026. And once we get past March, that'll determine whether the third term actually materializes.
So, as me seeing now, I've known you for a little bit with the net and everything. First of all, what made you decide being a judge and doing what you're doing in regards to?
Well, many, many years ago, when I was a lawyer, a judge pulled me into his chambers. His name was Judge Andy.
Mhm.
And he had gotten wind that I had been approached about running for city council.
Oh, okay.
This was the early 2000s. And I had, but I wasn't really seriously considering it. And he kind of put the I on the dot on the I for me across the T, and he said, "Look, you went to law school. Lawyers become judges. So you need to sit out and just wait and get some more life experience because eventually you're going to run for judge." So he put that little seed into planted that seed.
Mm-hmm.
Several years later, another judge, Karen Crouch, both of them now are deceased, pulled me into her office and she said, "You've got it in you to be a judge. I want you to attend campaign school." And she made sure that I applied and got into at that time it was titled the Women's Campaign School at Yale. It is now known as the Campaign School at Yale, and it's a campaign school that you attend for a week during the summer at Yale Law School in Connecticut. And I attended, I graduated, and came back. Go in there wondering if you should be running for dog catcher or something. You come back believing you can run for governor. They give you all the skills, all the tools, all the training you need to run your own campaign. And so she was prepping me. Judge Crouch was prepping me to eventually run for judge. And the time came when my past matched what I needed to do in the future. What do I mean by that? I tell people I'm a recovering social worker.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go back to law school till I was 33 years old.
Oh, wow.
And it was after doing social work types of work. I was in social work fields for 11 years after college before I went back to law school. And when I was a social work, I did probation. I was a probation officer. I worked at many residential treatment facilities for women and children. I worked at communities and schools with gangs on the South Side. I worked with the indigent through Catholic Charity. I worked at the Mexican American Unity Council with first time offenders, juveniles, 12 to 15, that were coming through the JP courts and juvenile courts.
Wow.
I was a juvenile probation officer in Austin, Travis County, where I worked with sex offenders, felony offenders, Spanish speaking offenders. And then I went back to Brownsville, my hometown, for about a year and a half, where I ended up subbing in for special ed. And I was getting my master's in special education when I went down there. My dad had gotten sick, and my mom needed extra help at the house. And while I was down there, she says, "You need to just go back to school and get your law degree." And so she made it so that I could do that. And I applied and I got into St. Mary's. And I was back here in San Antonio and attended law school at the age of 33, graduated 36, and then worked for then Justice Alma Lopez for about a year while she ran for Chief Justice of the Fourth Court of Appeals. On the day that she won, I passed the bar. And that was
Congratulations. Yay.
and that was the beginning of almost 17 years of becoming a lawyer and working in all the areas that I was already familiar with because
Yeah.
of the clients that I've had and helped and the families as I did in social work. So family law, child abuse court, juvenile court, mental health court, drug treatment court. And so through all that experience, I got to see what is it that people struggle with? Why do they end up in these courts? What are the resources that they need? And the two biggest areas for our area here in the heart of Texas, Bear County, DWIs and domestic violence.
Mm.
So I happened to meet my current spouse, my wife Stacy, who's as you have already heard,
Yes,
is a
she's
published
amazing.
expert on trauma and
Yes.
addiction. I was mentored by another judge, now retired, Judge Al Alonso, and he had started the first drug treatment courts here in Bexar County, and he convinced me that we needed a treatment court for family violence, and that I should run for a family violence court so that we could get that done. And that's how I ended up where I am today, which is County Court at Law number 13, a misdemeanor family violence court.
And you're the judge, right?
And I'm the judge.
She's the
Not a
judge,
defendant.
not the defendant. She's the judge. I just finished watching your documentary on Reflejo.
Yes, that's the court that I just
Wow.
talked to you about that
Yes.
focuses on first-time offenders. We could not have gotten that program off the ground without Judge Alonso and state rep at the time, Roland Gutierrez and Senator Menendez, and honestly, Governor Abbott signing it into law. And we've had support from Representative Josie Garcia. We've had support from all sorts of other professionals to get this up and running. The core curriculum, you saw the instructor
Yes.
on that video,
Yes.
John Vaca.
Mhm.
That curriculum that he teaches is the core curriculum for our defendants in that program. And that is provided by American Indians in Texas. So they're
Wow.
a huge community partner in the success of the court.
Congratulations on that,
Thank you.
on that reflejo and everything. I that's the first time I saw that. It touched me. I was telling your wife that, man, I wish we would have that in other places, you know,
We
because
are
in
really
other
hoping
states
that
and other
maybe,
places,
the
because
felony courts pick it up. We are hoping that the juvenile courts pick it up. And I'll tell you why. There's two different reasons.
Mhm.
The earlier you get to that problem, the more successful you are at stopping that behavior.
yes,
And that behavior starts when boys and girls start to notice each other, when the
Mhm.
hormones start to move about. Sometimes it's girls and girls and boys, but you have that inner feeling. And when you start to feel jealous and possessive and no one's teaching you how to handle those feelings, you're going to end up in trouble.
yep,
You're going to act in a way that's going to end up with you in the criminal justice system.
yep,
Now, should we be judging people by the worst day of their lives?
Mm.
Should we blame them for trauma they bring into adulthood and they just have never had the right intervention, the right teacher, the right guide, the right leader to teach them how to grow up in relationships?
Yep.
Those people may eventually end up in the felony courts because it spiraled out of control. And I would say for a felony court, it may be an alternative to prison. It may be a zero tolerance program. Hey, you're going to go to prison unless you do this reflejo court program, and you got to be squeaky clean. You can't reoffend. You can't be playing with your. If I'm going to put you into reflejo court, you need to comply 100% because if you don't, here's the order already signed for you to go to prison. That might be a way that it could work in the felony courts, but I think there's a lot of opportunity to change the trajectory of our community when it comes to family.
Yeah, because in other places you're just doomed already. You just go to prison. That's it. There's no.
Well,
If that's
even at
about
the
it, you know.
misdemeanor level, some folks,
Yes.
a lot of attorneys talk about the misdemeanor family violence court like it's nothing. It's
Mhm.
just a misdemeanor, really, because once you have that conviction,
They're done.
it sticks with you for the rest of that person's life, your defendant's life, your client's life. It will be impacted for the rest of their days. How? It will affect their rights with their children, what kind of access they have to
Yep.
their children. It will affect the type of jobs that they can get. It will affect where they live. It will affect whether they can get financial aid. It will affect how they can protect themselves. Imagine carrying that yoke on your shoulders for the rest of your life
Mhm.
and having to tell employers and landlords and banks, well, I have a record. What kind of record? I'm a violent offender. Who wants to deal with the person that says that to you?
Mhm.
You write them off. And they're relegated to this lower rung of quality of life forever. So we offer an opportunity to correct it.
That's awesome. Only here in San Antonio, but we pray that it goes on around in other states. The only reason I say is because I have a son that's 36 years old, and he finally reflected that he had to change. But you know, there was a lot of issues that he went on too, like you said, and it, you know, they react into violent ways and different ways that we didn't realize. And as a mom, I thought that I could save him, and I couldn't save him. I had to let him go into the system, you know.
So
but they
the
didn't help him.
reaction comes from what we call triggers,
Yes.
right? And so we
Yes.
teach them how to cope with those triggers,
Mhm.
how to identify those triggers and not react. We teach them to sit back and reflect. That's why the court is called
Yes.
reflejo court.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, well, what are triggers? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to give you an example. If you were a child that was raised in a family where if mom burnt the beans on the stove and dad came home and the frijoles were estaban quemados,
Mm-hmm.
and then dad's like, orale, we're going to get into un rollo aquí. And the next thing you know, they're duking it out in the bedroom, in the living room, and the kids are in the back room just listening to everything. Well, maybe that child's going to grow up to be an adult who's triggered at the scent of burnt beans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maybe you come from a home where dad and mom would start drinking together while they were listening to norteño or tejano music, and before you know it, they're going at it. Now, every time you hear that kind of music, you trigger. Or maybe it's an unfortunate rape or sexual abuse, and the person wore a certain type of cologne, and when you smell that cologne, it just sets you off.
Yeah.
Right? It could be anything. It could be the person's sound of their voice. It could be how they look. It could be how they walk. But something triggers you and puts you right back in the middle of that horrible event. That's a trigger. So
Yeah.
we teach people how to modulate those emotions and how to respond to those triggers rather than react.
God bless you for that. God bless you. Let's see what they say. They're saying here, we love you, Rosie. Uh, there was a question here, and I wrote it down here. Let's see that they asked earlier. Is there a specific message you want to send for the people listening, especially the people who are uneasy about political climate?
I would say to them, don't worry about the political climate. Worry about your safety and your own well-being.
Mm.
All of that is a universal human experience. Regardless of whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, an independent, a libertarian, we all
Yeah.
deserve to live in a place where we feel safe and we feel free to express our ideas without worrying that we're going to get slapped or kicked or hurt or threatened, right, or terrorized. So it doesn't matter where you are politically. We are all in the same boat as humans, wanting to live in a safe place, a safe community, a safe place. So try to get beyond that and try to prioritize your own safety over what you think other people are thinking about you or going to say about you, because we have a lot of that going on.
There you go. You guys heard that. There's your answer to the question. And where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
Hopefully in a souped up van touring the national parks across the country with my
Yay.
3 dogs.
Oh, there you go.
Checking in with Stacy, who will probably still be in this clinic. I hope not, but I'm in my 60s.
Oh,
And
okay.
so
You look too young to be in your
I hope
60s. Hello.
I hope
Yes.
to be retired
Oh, okay.
and enjoying life without a walker, without having a
Right.
major illness, and I try to take care of myself. Just enjoying God's gifts to me and what life has to offer when I'm in my late 60s and early 70s.
There you guys heard it. So while we're out there on Facebook Live and everything, before we go, you have any shout outs? You have anything you got to say to the people out there to get those votes, to get to know you and what you're all about? Because I know a lot of them, this is the first time they're seeing you. You
I
know.
want them to know that we have open courts in Texas. They can always come down to the courthouse to observe the work that we do every
Okay.
day. I am going to make a personal invitation to everyone in your listening area,
Okay.
in your viewing area on January 27th. That's a Tuesday.
Okay.
At 9 o'clock, we will begin our 10th commencement graduation for the federal court.
Oh.
It'll go from 9 to 2. It's free to the public. It will be taking place at the neighborhood place on Rivas Street, right off of General McMullen, right behind Holy Cross High School.
Oh, okay.
We will provide you a free breakfast. We will provide you a free lunch. And you will see the miracles of healing of the federal court. We have Doug Marlowe as a trainer and keynote speaker. He is the world expert on the benefits of treatment court. We have someone that's been in sobriety over 20 years, and she's going to talk about her story to our guests. You're going to hear from two of our graduates who are going to share their story of healing. We're going to have a local comedian, Michelle, do a 10-minute introduction. Michael Quintanilla is going to be the MC for the entire commencement. And it's just a good time. It's a feel-good time. And that's the one time we get to showcase all the good that we do. the Reflejo Court to our community. So come out and join us.
And there you go. And don't forget to get a vote for Judge
Early
Rosie.
voting starts February
There's a
17th,
good-
and Election Day is the first Tuesday of March, March 3rd. And please come out. I'm number 2 on the ballot. There's only 2 of us, so skip number 1 and
Go to
click
number
on
2.
number 2, and that's Judge Rosie Speedling Gonzalez for judge.
There you
Bexar
go.
County Court at Law, number 13 in San Antonio, Texas.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Judge. Any shout outs out there to anybody?
Well, my wife is here. My dogs are at home.
There you go.
And, yeah,
All right. Okay. There you go, guys. Thank you. All right. Let me see here. Okay, guys. So it is the end of the day here with, let's see here. Let me see. All right. Okay. So Judge Rosie for re-election on March 3rd, early voting. Have you guys heard it? February 17th. February 17th through the 27th, they said. And you guys want to help reach their wife? Don't forget, I'll be putting a link to the Reflejo one. And thank you everybody that stopped by. Thank you everybody that said hi. Let me see who else I can say a shout out to. I know I saw my friend, tu amigo Pete on here. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Going to my live. Hello, my BFF Annette. Thank you for following. Thank you for the invitation here for Judge Rosie. I got me my shirt. Hello, Serena. Woohoo, Judge Rosie. Yes. Hello, Annette. All right. Anyway, thank you so much, each and everybody. Love you guys. God bless you. My first podcast. It was great to meet Judge Rosie, talk about Judge Rosie, talk of all the great things she's done, her Reflejo group, and she invited you guys to the January 27th. So go back if there's not a live button on there. Go back and check out her video. It is shown here on my live. And thank you so much. God bless you. Y que Dios me los bendiga. Thank you, Lord, for today. Amen.